All right, this is learning target 1 for 8.1.3 for models for physical and chemical changes. So I can make a molecular model for whether a physical or a chemical change occurs. So on this one, for example, it says 2 sodium and chlorine can make 2 NaCl, which is salt. So let's think about this. These are our reactants. It's what we begin with at the beginning. So we have a bright silver sodium and a faint green gas, chlorine. And if they are the reactants, they are going to rearrange when they bond, and they are going to make salt. So, and this salt, a property of salt is white granules. So is this physical or a chemical change? Well, I want to point out that we have the same atoms that we begin with. This would be sodium, this would be chlorine, right? And I guess we put it still over here at the reactant side. And what happens during a reaction is they just kind of switch partners. So it kind of looks like this. But this is how we do the equation. It would look similar to this. We draw it usually as 2 sodiums and 2 chlorines recombined to make salt, NaCl. The 2 in front shows you how many molecules there are. So there's 2 molecules or subgroups for Na. If there's no number in front, we assume 1. So there's 1 molecule of chlorine. And then this number 2 means that there's 2 atoms of chlorine. And then they make 2 molecules of NaCl. So what happened? Is the properties different? Yes. The bright silver sodium is now a white granule of salt, and the green gas of chlorine also contributes to being a white granule of salt. So this is a chemical change because the atoms rearranged to become different molecules. Let's try this one. So this is iron, 2Fe, 1, 2, 1 molecule of O2 here is going to make rust. This is what it would look like. They just switch spots like that. Very similar. So now we have 2 molecules of rust. So before, some of our properties are, we have dark hard metal, we have an invisible oxygen gas, but when they recombine, now all of a sudden it turns into something red and brown and flaky. So is this physical or chemical? Hopefully you said that this is a chemical change. It has new properties, right? And the atoms rearrange. So 2Fe, 1 molecule of O2, rearranged to become 2FeO, and there's 2 molecules there. So the atoms just rearranged. It's not like you add or gain atoms, they're the same atoms. Let's look at this one. So on this one we have water, which is H2O liquid, and now it's going to boil and become H2O gas. So what would this one look like? Well, first of all, liquid has the properties of, oh, I messed this up totally. Liquid has the properties of becoming liquid that's clear, right? And when it becomes the products, it turns into an invisible gas that we often see with a white smoke. And we want to ask the question, is this a physical or chemical change? So what's going to happen? If you have H2O as a liquid and it turns into H2O as a gas, what happens is this molecule just moves around here a little bit faster and a little bit more spread out. So it's still H2O. So is that physical or chemical? So it turns out, when you look at it, that because the molecules are the same, it is a physical change. So the clear liquid often is actually the white cloud, is also a way that we can describe a clear liquid. It's just H2O as a gas condenses onto a dust particle and it looks like a white cloud and it feels moist. Same thing with the invisible gas. It feels moist and your hand gets moist because it condenses on you. So it can easily become a white cloud. So it easily switches from being water as a gas to cooling and become water as a liquid. So that's a physical change. So I hope you guys understand that physical and chemical changes, physical changes is the same molecule before and after. Chemical changes are different molecules after. Chemical changes completely end up with new properties that are way different. Physical changes have very similar properties, or they keep the same properties, or they can go easily back into their same properties. So it's not to say that you can't reverse a physical change or a chemical change. You can reverse some chemical changes, but For phase changes, or if you make an object cut smaller, if it's the same molecule, then it's going to be a physical change.